Greetings, this is Yuri, and I have a new original story for you on the channel Details Mystery. Sometimes life brings dark streaks that can cross out all the good. That's exactly what happened to Vladimir. At 39, he suddenly found himself completely alone. One evening, a few days before the new year, his wife, whom he had been dating for several months, left him for another man. She took the children with her and expected that he wouldn't claim their shared apartment and car. But he had already bought gifts and hired animators to play Santa Claus and the Snow Maiden to please the children. It's strange to think about this at such a moment, but for some reason it was the first thing that came to his mind. How could this be? After all, everything was fine with them, or wasn't it? Volodya temporarily moved to a country house, sometimes spending the night in the office of his small restaurant, to which he had dedicated 10 years of his life. In the last year, things had been going frankly badly. New establishments nearby were attracting more guests. If earlier he wanted to change the interior, order a new menu, now the divorce, the move, rare meetings with the children, and forced communication with the ex-wife's new husband took away any desire to do anything. All financial and administrative matters fell on the shoulders of his assistant Lena. Do as you see fit, Vladimir Ivanovich often answered her questions. Of course, with this approach, nothing good could come of it, and the business was bringing in less and less income. Several months passed this way. By May, Volodya had completely lost heart, lost weight, always looked tired, turned pale, and completely lost his taste for life. On the weekend, old friends invited him to sit in the sauna, relax and have a heart-to-heart talk. And it really did him good. He opened up and finally shared his worries. My friend Misha and I also split up 2 years ago, but look how I'm living now. No scandals, no obligations. I've even gotten 10 years younger in this time. His childhood friend Misha supported him. Well, you can't compare. Volodya is a family man, an exemplary father. And you? Well, what about me? You've probably already forgotten your wife's name. Too many other pleasant names are swirling around, Volodya replied. But what is, Misha replied contentedly, and everyone left.
At some point, the conversation took a completely different turn, and even an argument arose. No, I'm telling you, it needs to be done this way. And I'm telling you, I can't. Are you afraid? I'm afraid. I'm not afraid. It's a third thing here. It just won't work like that. Well, this is just some nonsense. Oh, come on, you made me laugh. If it doesn't earn $1 million in a month, I bet on the sea. The thing is, during the conversations, friends came up with the idea that managing the business would be better than he could in his current state. Maybe anyone could do it, even the dishwasher. And alas, they did not forget their idea. Have you gone mad or what? Vladimir laughed during their new meeting in June. My dishwasher is a woman with a prison past, and I only hired her because she asked me to. To be fair, I must say that she has never let me down. She works well and responsibly. Well, that's great. Just what we need. Everything is going to hell anyway. But this way there's a chance to keep the life's work at your own risk and try to relax on the seashore. Earlier, Vladimir Ivanovich would have sent such advisors far away. But now despair and personal grief had driven him into a corner. He was ready to agree to anything. Are you joking? No, seriously, I'm going on vacation for a week, and you're in charge. And you're leaving everything to me like this? Yes. If anything comes up, contact the bartender or the waiters. They've been working here for a long time and will help you out. Galina, the very same employee, stood there not understanding whether the director was serious, joking strangely, or something else. What should I do, Vladimir Ivanovich? Lena ran after him. The same as always. Without thinking, he replied, then turned around and looked at her meaningfully. Lena, would you like to go somewhere with me? Lena had been waiting for these words for a long time. Her boss had always been so busy that he didn't notice her feelings. He attributed her care to efficiency and workaholism. Have you gone mad? Volodya's mother, Anna Pavlovna, reacted. Everything will be fine, Mom. I already need to rest. Well, if you find empty walls there and drunks lying behind the bar counter, know that this is the expected result. You have to be quite something to come up with this. She read almost without stopping. Volodya himself knew all this, but the decision was made. What's the point in sighing now? Go already. I see your confused face. You left as a businessman. You'll come back unemployed and in debt, his mother teased as he was getting ready to leave. All right, maybe it's not that bad yet, he replied, although he thought the same but didn't want to admit it.
In June, they flew away, one with heavy thoughts, the other happy and full of hope. But the one who was really uncomfortable was Galina. She had never managed anything before. Before prison, she worked as a cook, and afterward she could only count on a position as a cleaner, janitor, or dishwasher. On the first day, she felt strange, uncomfortable, and could hardly talk to other colleagues who treated her with suspicion. But gradually, Galina relaxed and began to look around. Instead of curtains, blinds, a strict design in pastel colors, artificial greenery. Uncozy, she thought. Vladimir and Lena arrived, checked into the hotel, and went for a walk around the city. At first, Vladimir spoke little. He generally regretted starting all this. And Lena, on the contrary, rejoiced in everything, took pictures of everything, and planned excursions for each day. By the evening, he too caught her enthusiasm. And now they are sitting in a lovely little restaurant with a view of the coast and chatting about everything. A moment came when Vladimir suddenly forgot himself. For the first time in several months, he was not visited by thoughts of children, his ex-wife, bills, purchases, or advertising. It was simply nice to sit like this, drink wine, eat a huge hot pizza, watch the sea splash outside the window and the setting sun reflect in it. Cozy, warm, delicious. Next to him was a beautiful, interesting girl. It turns out this is what his assistant, Lena, is really like. They met 5 years ago when he was looking for someone who could become his right hand. It's quite difficult to keep up with everything at once, and if there is someone who can remind and record, it's much easier. After several unsuccessful interviews, he chose her, because she seemed active, and indeed she was. But as a woman, he never paid attention to her. Now he looked closely and realized that in addition to being a good employee, she was also a pretty girl. Small, thin, with light hair, blue eyes, and a pleasant smile. This week was a turning point for both of them. It happens sometimes that people who have known each other for a long time suddenly realize that they are good together not only in work or friendship. At first, Volodya was always waiting for a catch. Well, she can't be good at everything. They became lovers, colleagues, and friends at the same time. The vacation will end and you will see that I'm just a loser with a failed business. You will find someone else, he thought, lying in bed. Nonsense, Lena smiled in response. We'll return and fix everything. I don't think that in 2 weeks there will be nothing left there. Everything can be fixed.
The remaining days went as well as possible. Every day they went to the mountains, on excursions to cities, bought souvenirs, and spent the evenings by the sea, trying new dishes and drinks. And it became easy. The thought that everything would work out finally calmed all the past unpleasant emotions. Lena was so positive and lighthearted that it was completely impossible to suffer next to her. They spent the last morning in the room, went swimming in the afternoon. The weather was sunny but not hot. The water was warm and pleasant. They wanted to leave and didn't want to at the same time. Late in the evening, they were already sitting in a taxi near the airport. They decided to go to their homes in the morning and then go to the restaurant to see what was left of it. Something's not right, Vladimir said as they approached the building. Curtains have appeared, Lena replied. They didn't recognize the hall when they entered. If there had been no guests, they would have walked around and looked at everything more carefully. But now they could only notice the green curtains, live plants on the windows, tablecloths on the tables, and vases on each table. It started to look like a dining room. Don't you think? Vladimir asked Lena. I like it. It's somehow homely. And the guests seem to like it too, she replied. Indeed, many tables were occupied. Soft music was playing, and the speakers were arranged differently. Galina, hello. How are things here? Hello, Vladimir Ivanovich. I don't know, would you appreciate my idea, but I wanted to make everything homely. I think people are missing this. Well, not bad. What else would you like to change? I would issue different aprons to the waiters, change the menu, add simpler dishes, something amazing. The cooks, photographers, and advertisers had a lot of work ahead, and it was far from the final result, but the guests liked the idea. Because in the evenings, something happened that hadn't happened in a long time. All the tables were reserved and occupied.
One evening, Vladimir was leaving work late and met Galina in the corridor, who had now been promoted and was working in the kitchen, helping to cook and develop a new menu. Soon, she wanted to take a modern culinary course to refresh her knowledge and learn something new. A personal question. Yes, of course. Why were you in prison? Galina paused, thinking, and then answered, I worked in a cafe. The director there didn't really keep track of what was going on. Many people were taking something. Some took products, and some, as it turned out, took money. I knew, but kept silent, afraid. At some point, everything came out, and the director called the police. The investigation went on for a long time. I didn't know, but apparently my colleagues agreed to say that it was me who took everything. After all, it seems I was the only one who didn't participate in this. I didn't have money for a lawyer. They appointed a public defender. That's how it turned out. But I didn't serve long, and I never wanted to or knew how to steal. Don't worry about that. I'm not worried. On the contrary, thank you. Honestly, he expected to see that everything was closed or something even worse. But she breathed new life into the establishment. Oh, come on, you're exaggerating. I just suggested the idea. Galina really took the course and soon officially took the position of a cook. The new responsibilities and salary gave her confidence, and she even changed externally for the better. The menu was beautifully designed, the waiters received stylish aprons, and a new sign with backlighting was ordered. The home coziness really appealed to people more than the strict formality. And Volodya somehow came to life. The emerging affairs took a lot of time, and next to him was always Lena, who inspired him more than anything else in the world. She even pleased his mother. It was difficult, and she began to call her Lenechka, invited her to visit, and always defended her in all disputes. Volodya laughed that his mother considered Lena her daughter and him her son-in-law, whom it was useful to scold more often. If you like the story, I hope you won't mind supporting me with a thumbs up button. Thank you.